Today's video, I'm going to give you some tips, tricks, and just some general rules of thumb that I've learned from playing Star Wars Outlaws. This is going to prepare you for the launch of the game. I've been playing the game for roughly 10 or so days with over 60 hours, and there's just some quality of life things I've learned along the way that I figured would be helpful for new players as they enter the game for the first time. Firstly, and this is pretty simple, but take your time in all locations. There are so many hidden nooks and crannies, different secret rooms and areas, and different ways to access zones that you may not have seen straight away. So be on the lookout for different ways to approach situations, as you're going to be finding so many different hidden items in different locations in these worlds, because the maps may be big, but they have layers to them. There's tunnel systems, there's vent systems. You're going to find different log books and caches that will unlock clothing items, whether that's for Nyx, yourself, or for your speeder, and as well as your ship. And there's upgrades hidden around every nook and cranny of this world that's going to help you along the way in your journey. Now keep in mind, some locations, when you first encounter them, you may not be able to access them until later on in the story when you have unlocked specific story lock tools and upgrades. These are going to be pieces of gear that do a specific thing, or a tool that will help you open specific doors or cut through different areas. So if you're really trying to find that secret cache or access that treasure and you really can't do it, just take a step back and wait later on in the story, and you will realize that you'll be able to finally do it, so you can backtrack there and unlock these special pieces of gear. Now, who doesn't want to go in guns blazing, pick up any weapon the enemy drops, throw grenades, use your blaster, blow up barrels? It's a blast to do that. But at the end of the day, Nyx is your companion. He's your little sidekick. The guy's awesome, and his abilities are extremely useful, not only if you're going full stealth, but if you are going guns blazing, he can really assist you along the way. There's so many pieces in the environment that Nyx can interact with only, like dropping items on enemies, blowing up barrels, opening doors that you would not think could be accessible. If you go into Nyx mode, you can see the environment will highlight specific items, and it will tell you to either fetch it, attack, detonate, open. So keep in mind using Nyx as often as possible. Speaking of creatures, each planet has a specific creature. Toshara has a flying one. Kijimi has these little snow rats. When you see a cluster of these, be sure to go over, because they will actually take you to a specific location where hidden caches or abundance of materials. So be on the lookout for a cluster of little creatures, as they will help you find secret hidden areas, as well as rare materials to help you upgrade your speeder, your ship, and your blaster. Now, we are a new scoundrel in the galaxy, and what are we after? We're after credits. Money equals power, money equals gear, gear equals easier fights, and just a better overall experience. But keep in mind, don't worry too much about credits. You'll gain them faster than you think. Buy things that are only necessary. Now, if you're going to go for an upgrade, focus that, or you're going to burn up special and rare materials that is only obtained through specific story quests, as well as vaults, the game's hardest caches to get into. So you're going to get materials that you can use, and once they're used, it'll be pretty hard to obtain them again. So be sure to just take your time with spending your money, and don't worry about credits too much, because you're going to be gaining them at abundance rate, whether through contracts, gambling, playing Sebek, arcade games, or just out in the open world. One of the biggest systems in this game is the reputation system. As you know, we're going to be working with numerous different syndicate groups. This reputation is not only going to give you different sets of gear that are exclusive for that faction based on your reputation, and at each new reputation level, you'll get a bonus, whether this is a discount at merchants, a special item, or a special piece of gear for your character. But keep in mind, throughout the game, your reputation with them is going to fluctuate drastically, and you can change this at any point. Not only story missions are going to dictate this, but you can also go into a syndicate's outpost, take a bunch of guys out, and your reputation will drop. So there is a lot that is going to dictate your reputation, and just focus on the syndicate group that you like the most. But keep in mind, changing up your reputation with these factions is very important, as it's going to help you access different parts of the world as well as different pieces of gear. Now, this is a super simple tip, but it's kind of a quality of life thing I figured out. When using the grappling hook, be sure to jump right before you do the button input. On PC, it's E to use the grappling hook. I always jump and then press E to attach myself to something. Reason being is it helps skip the grappling animation, and it makes traversal a lot smoother. Sometimes you'll be running, you'll go to grapple something, your guy will kind of stall and slow down a little bit, and it kind of just ruins the fluidity of the game. So jump right before you use the grappling hook, and it will make your traversal and your movement a lot faster and smoother. Now, the game has many different mini games on offer. I love Sebek. I've played probably over 2 hours of just Sabak. When it comes to the horse racing, before participating in races, there is always someone around the town that you're in, whether it's Kajimi, whether it's Toshara, whatever it may be. You will find an NPC. Either you will eavesdrop on them or you will just overhear them talking as you walk by, and they will give you a tip on what horse to bet on that will guarantee you a win. 100% of the time it works. It basically is the next horse race you do, as long as you remember that tip, you are automatically going to win, and it's an easy 500 credits. As you progress through the game, you're going to encounter specific NPCs, whether syndicate generals that will be working with you, specific special merchants around the world, and each of them specialize in specific upgrades. Their game really doesn't touch too much on this point. One you're really going to want to focus on is a health upgrade. This might be hard to find at first, but this is going to be on your first planet, Toshara. You're going to need to get rare materials as well as complete specific criteria in order to get this upgrade. But keep in mind focusing on these upgrades very frequently, as new are going to unlock as you progress the story, and they're not going to give you any passive bonuses unless you actually go to them and work towards them. So be on the lookout for this. I highly recommend getting the health upgrade as early as possible. It's just a good quality of life. These are simple tips and tricks I've learned from playing Star Wars Outlaws. Are you guys excited about it? Are you guys going to get the game? Have you pre-ordered it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already, check out my review video. I'm having a complete blast with this game. I would love to hear your guys' input. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like on it and subscribe for all things gaming, all things Outlaws, and as always, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful day.